Imagine you are managing the kitchen of a high-end restaurant in Mumbai. If you prep all your ingredients before the dinner rush begins, you are practicing the essence of lean, eliminating waste by ensuring everything is ready to be assembled the moment an order comes in. This is the Disciplined Agile Scrum Master (DASM) course, and our topic is Agile versus Lean. Where do they intersect? Agile is often defined as an iterative approach to project management that focuses on continuous feedback and rapid change. In simple terms, it's about working in small cycles so you can pivot quickly if the customer changes their mind. Lean, on the other hand, is defined as a systematic method for minimizing waste within a system without sacrificing productivity. Put simply, it's about identifying everything that doesn't add value, like waiting for approvals or unnecessary paperwork, and cutting it out to make the workflow faster. While they started in different places, they both share a goal: delivering value to the customer as quickly as possible. So, now that we've mastered the core definitions of these two powerhouse concepts, you might be wondering how they actually hold hands in a real world project. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is looking at how Agile and Lean work together to eliminate invisible waste. Think back to that restaurant kitchen in Mumbai. If your chefs are waiting for 5 minutes for a specific spice to be brought from the storage room, that waiting time is waste. In an office, this is like waiting for a manager's email approval before you can move to the next task. This is where Lean and Agile intersect perfectly. Agile gives us the structure to deliver work in small chunks, while Lean gives us the lens to see what is slowing us down. When you combine them, you aren't just working faster, you are working smarter. You start asking, why are we having this meeting? Or, do we really need 3 different people to sign off on this document? By using the agile mindset of iteration, you keep the product moving, and by using the lean mindset of waste removal, you keep the path clear. It's like clearing the road ahead of your car so you can drive at top speed without hitting any potholes. So now that we've mastered the art of spotting and cutting out wasted time, you might be wondering how we keep the quality high while we are moving so quickly. Well, that brings us to our next step, the importance of building quality into the process. Imagine our restaurant kitchen again. Instead of waiting until the end of the night to taste the soup, the chef tastes it during every step, as the onions saute, as the broth boils, and as the final herbs are added. This is the intersection of Lean and Agile, the commitment to building quality at the source. Lean teaches us that fixing a mistake early is infinitely cheaper than fixing it at the end. Agile teaches us to test and review our work continuously. When these two meet, we stop waiting for a big testing phase at the end of a project. Instead, we check our work constantly. If something is broken, we fix it immediately. This prevents a tiny mistake from snowballing into a massive disaster that ruins the entire project. It's a culture where good enough is replaced by right the first time. So, now that we have mastered the strategy of catching errors early, you might be wondering how we manage the flow of work when things get really crowded. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is managing work in progress, or WIP. Picture your restaurant kitchen in Mumbai on a busy Friday night. If the chef tries to cook 10 different orders at the same time, everything will get burnt or cold. In Agile and Lean, we call this having too much work in progress, or WIP. Both philosophies agree that the more tasks you have open at once, the slower you finish everything. The intersection here is limiting work. By limiting how many tasks we focus on at one time, we ensure that we actually finish things. It sounds counterintuitive, right? You'd think that doing more things at once makes you faster, but it actually creates a traffic jam in your brain and on your project board. By finishing one task before starting the next, you clear the system and create a smooth flow of completed items. So, now that we've mastered the concept of focusing on one thing at a time to improve speed, you might be wondering how we visualize all this movement to keep the team on the same page. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the use of visual management. In our Mumbai restaurant, the chefs use a simple board with order tickets pinned up so everyone knows exactly what needs to be cooked, what is currently on the stove, and what is ready to be served. This is visual management, a key intersection of Lean and Agile. You don't need a 50-page status report to know what is going on. By looking at a simple board, anyone can instantly see if the team is stuck. If there are too many tickets in the in progress column, we know we have a bottleneck. Visualizing your work removes the guesswork and the constant "what's the status" emails that plague most offices. It keeps the reality of the project transparent. When everyone can see the work, everyone takes ownership of the flow. So, now that we've mastered the power of making work visible, you might be wondering how we make sure our team stays motivated enough to sustain this high performance lifestyle. Well, that brings us to our next step, the ultimate goal of continuous improvement. We return one last time to our restaurant in Mumbai. Even on a perfect night, the head chef gathers the team for a 2-minute chat to ask what went well and what could we do better tomorrow. That is the heart of both Agile and Lean, the Kaizen or continuous improvement mindset. You never arrive at a destination where you are finished improving. The intersection of these two concepts is the relentless belief that your process can always be a little smoother, a little faster, and a little more valuable to your customer. You are always learning. Whether it's a better way to slice vegetables or a better way to coordinate software code, the discipline is in the reflection. It's about being humble enough to know that your current way of working is just a stepping stone to a better one. We've explored how these philosophies overlap to create high-functioning, happy teams. And now you have the foundation to not just follow a process, but to lead a team that is constantly evolving and growing.